Welcome to Math Plus, where math makes sense. Now we're going to practice word problems that require us to divide fractions. And with word problems, the question is always, what operation are you going to use? Even though we know we're going to be dividing, I want to review those words that commonly mean division in a story problem or a word problem. Things like divided by, cut up, how many in each, finding the quotient, share something equally, or to split something up. These are clues when you're working with a word problem that will help you know which operation to use. So let's look at a couple word problems that require us to divide fractions. John has 5 pizzas. He wants to cut each pizza into slices that are 1/4 of a pizza. How many slices will he have in total? So he wants to take each one of these pizzas and he wants to split them up to where each piece would be 1/4. So if you're going to do that, that means he would split them in 4 equal parts, right? Because what we've learned, this would be 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So he's going to do that to all of them. So basically he's going to take 5 pizzas divided by 1/4. That will help us see how many 1/4s are in 5 whole pizzas. When we learned how to divide fractions, remember we have to change the whole number into a fraction, and then we divide it by 1/4. Then we use keep, change, flip. We're going to keep the first number, change the sign, and flip the second number. So we end up with keeping the 5/1, changing the division sign to multiplication, and flipping or finding the reciprocal to 1/4, which would be 4/1. Now we can multiply. And of course, when we multiply the numerators. So 5 times 4 is 20. We multiply the denominators. 1 times 1 is 1. So 20/1 equals 20. So we should end up with 20 slices of pizza. Well, let's see if that's correct. We saw up here when we divided it into 4s, we end up with 4 pieces, don't we? So that means each pizza is going to have 4 pieces. So if you add them all up, you do get 20 pieces. So you can see the algorithm of how we divide fraction works. You do not have to have the pictures. So you know that when you have something whole and you're dividing it up and you want to know how many of those pieces you'll have, you're going to divide. All right, let's look at a different kind of word problem that requires dividing. Sophie has a ribbon that is 1/3 of a yard long. She wants to cut this ribbon into 4 equal pieces to use for a craft project. How long will each piece be? Well, let's pretend that this top ribbon is 1 yard, okay? It says that she has one that's 1/3. So each of these would be 1/3. As you can see, it takes 3 of them to equal the whole. So what she's wanting to do is she wants to take one of these and divide it into 4 equal parts. So that means she's going to divide this here, here, and here. So we basically want to know how much that part, one of those parts are. So we're going to take 1/3 and we're going to divide it by 4. Now this is where we're taking a unit fraction and dividing by a whole number. Let's not forget our keep, change, flip. So when we do that, we come over here, we keep the 1/3, we change the sign, and we flip the 4. Remember, the 4 is like 4/1. So when we flip it or find the reciprocal, we get 1/4. And now we just have to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. So the answer is 1/12. And you might say, what do you mean? How is that 1/12? Well, if we go back here and look at our picture, we're going to say that this is 1/12. And that's because if you would divide each one, like the whole yard, like that, each one of them, okay, let me do that. You're going to see that we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like taking the yard, dividing it up into 12 equal pieces, and you've got one of them. So it's 1/12. We cannot always draw pictures or have pictures when we're having to divide something. So remember, when you're dividing fractions, you're going to use keep, change, flip, and basically turn it into a multiplication problem, and then you can multiply and then simplify if needed.